see palindromes.
Everything is connected. Everything.
I'm going to show you how these rituals are all about the twin identity that you have. And it's almost like this twin identity, these twin eclipses, like there's two X eclipses. It's like you have two identities. When you're born, parents grant you a name. That's the title that you carry through your life. Except your parents register your name. Register means give to the king. So they give legal title to your name, to the state. The state gives you another name on the certificate of birth. And that name looks just like the name that your parents granted to you, except it's in all capital letters. Definition of a complete delivery is the baby and the placenta. Take a look at the definition here. medical definition of delivery, the procedure of assisting birth of a fetus and expulsion of the placenta, the expulsion or extraction of a fetus and its membranes. So a complete delivery is both baby and placenta. And what happens is the placenta is considered lost or abandoned property, and the state can claim lost or abandoned property. So this name that they give you after your parents have it registered is based on this dead or dying membrane called the placenta. So when you identify yourself as your name, you're identifying as a dead or dying object. And this technical name, or one of the names, is the presumed decedent estate. So just by answering to your name, you identify as this dead or dying membrane, or the placenta, because your parents gave legal title to your real name, to your granted name, away. And that's how this whole system works. This whole system is based on what you identify as. The whole system sees you as this dead entity, because right now we live in a death-based system.
No!
A citizen of the United States is a civilly dead entity operating as a co-trustee and co-beneficiary of the public charitable trust, the constructive Sedeke Trust of the U.S. Incorporated under the 14th Amendment, which upholds the debt of the USA and U.S. Incorporated. So that's what they think of you. That's what U.S. citizenship is. It's a civilly dead entity. It's a corporation. You're there to pay the debt back. And when you were born, no one told you about it. When your mother signed that paperwork to get a birth certificate, there was no meeting of the minds. It's a very interesting situation we're in here. But that's the twin identities we're talking about. The baby and the placenta are one complete delivery. And if we look at the definition or the etymology of placenta, in Latin, placenta means uterine cake or flat cake because it has the round shape of an afterbirth. So when you celebrate your birthday, you have a cake. You're celebrating the dead entity. And you put a candle on the cake and you blow out the candle, so you're blowing out your divine spark. Your divine spark was granted to you about 39 weeks before you were born. When your mother and father's DNA come together and form the zygote, that's when you're granted the divine spark. It's at the zygote that establishes the DNA signature that you are today. And this precedes the birth. So you're granted the divine spark about 39 weeks before you're born. But then when you're born into this death-based system. They get you to celebrate, your birthday, the cake, the placenta, the dead entity, blow out the divine spark. But it's all about these twin names. Taking a look at a definition here. So if we look at identity in the Black's Law here, it means sameness. The fact that a subject, person, or thing before a court is the same as it is represented, claimed, or charged to be. And what that means is just by answering to your name, you identify as this object, as the presumed decedent, unless you make the correction, right? Because your parents registered your name and gave it to the state. So unless you correct it on a case-by-case basis or permanently, anytime you answer to your name in the system that we live in now, they identify you as this dead entity, right? It means sameness, right? Just by answering to your name, that's how they got us. Your granted name, and then the name that the state gives you, and you can correct this on a case-by-case basis if you ever need to, and there's also a permanent correction method, which I have found to be easier said than done, but there is a way to correct this.
Don't ever invite a vampire into your house, you silly boy. It renders you powerless.
Just a monster.
Michael! Over here. Come on, Michael. You don't want to miss this. Initiation's over, Michael. It's time to join the club. Hey kid, do I have your attention? I know the way you've been living. I'm so reckless, tragedy in this. Welcome to the family. Hey, there's something missing. Only time will alter your vision. Never in question, lethal injection. Welcome to the family. Not long ago, you'd find the answers were so crystal clear. Within a day, you find yourself living in constant fear. Can you look at yourself now? Can you look at yourself? You can't win this fight. In a way, it seems there's no one to come when our thoughts are so numb and our feelings unsure. We all have emptiness inside. We all have we lost him too early. Welcome to the family. Hey, why won't you listen? Can't help the people you're missing. It's been done, a casualty rerun. Welcome to the family. I'm trying to help you with the things that can't be justified. I need to warn you that there is no way to rationalize. So have you figured it out now? So have you figured it out? You can't win this fight. The way it seems there's no one to call when our arms are so numb. Our feelings unsure. We all have emptiness inside. We all have answers to find. But you can't win this fight.
The ghost that follows you around, your two identities, your twin identity, the commercial you and then the real you, and how they've been commingled, and this whole creation of this second entity. It's not totally on the up and up. It wasn't disclosed to you, wasn't disclosed to your parents how the system works, and we're left to navigate and try to figure out how to remedy the situation that most people don't even know they're in. And I associate with Wormwood from Revelation 8:11. Wormwood is an anti-parasite. Wormwood is the Artemisia absinthium that makes the water bitter, and that's an anti-parasite. And the twin that I'm always talking about here, the all capital letter legal fiction, is the parasite that's been attached to you.